What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the ForneverWorld podcast, episode 8, I believe. I am your host, ForneverWorld, alongside my good friend and co-host, Daniel Santos, aka Shintai. Shintai, tell the people what's good.
What's good? We on episode 8, baby. Just turn that shit on its side, and it's infinite, forever, forever.
Yes, that's how we rolling, baby. 8 episodes, yo. We've been consistent with this shit. And quick shout out to everybody that's been, supporting and watching. We've been having a loyal base that's been watching these episodes. Really dope stuff. Quickly wanted to plug in case people don't know, we got a separate Best Moments channel. Link in the description below. If you don't want to sit through the whole episodes, maybe you're having a week where you just want to get to the goods, they'll be uploaded to that channel. Link in the description below. But this week we're going to start a little bit different. We're going to start with a topic and then we'll go from there. And the topic is kind of the season 2 curse, aka sophomore slump with anime. I'm going to let Shintai lead this one. Shintai, get into the shits.
Okay, we're getting into that shit. So I wanted to bring this up because I kind of noticed that hype always seems to die down with season 2. Like, even if it's a season that people were begging and pleading for, people were like, oh my god, please, I gotta have season 2 of Monster Musume, it's like, oh my god, I gotta have it. Like, the creators will be like, all right, fine, we heard your plies, your cries, your pleads, here it is. And then no one fucking watches it. What's up with that? It's so weird.
The hype, it's strange. I go back to, because, I've been doing this for a long time. I've seen fandoms. I've seen all sorts of shit. Even, and mind you, there are certain series that have different circumstances. If you want to go to Attack on Titan, for example, the argument there is that it was a long wait, 4 years. People didn't want to wait that long. Also, when it got confirmed, it was 12 episodes opposed to the 25 people had with season 1. But nevertheless, I remember that the fandom died down a lot for that. One Punch Man.
The hype train had fucking the train was cold by then. The train had already been disassembled. And that's when they were like, yo, season 2 though. And everyone was just like, too bad we moved on.
Yeah, and I mean, there was moments, and I will say too that by mid to end of season 3, I don't know how the hell it happened. I guess the only thing you could attribute it is to quality writing and really awesome shit happening. It kind of got back on board. But season 2, a lot of people dipped out. There was a couple of episodes identity reveals and shit like that made some noise, but for the most part it was not what people were hyping and how much support season 1 had. And it kind of makes me, or reminds me, shall I say, of a motto that Madhouse has been running with for a bit. Madhouse has been accused of, for a long time now, of releasing season 1s and then wiping their hands and never doing a season 2. And there may be some merit to it. There may be some merit to the reasons why they do it, and that's probably because us as fans, we will be really loud about wanting something, and then when it comes, there's a lot of times where we will just kind of go ghost. I mean, Blue Exorcist season 1, huge. By the time they dropped season 2, again, it was a good wait, but still, nobody talked about that shit like that. And I'm sure there's gonna be somebody in the comments that's gonna say, you don't know what you're talking about, Blue Exorcist season 2 blew the roof up. But it was quiet crickets when Blue Exorcist season 2 came out. And
and we're not necessarily saying that these season 2s are bad. All we're saying is it's weird how people will, especially if the season 1 was hype and people loved it and people were talking about it and there's tons of discussion, engagement, and then all of a sudden season 2 just kind of comes and goes and no one really gives a fuck.
Yeah, I'm seeing even right now, like I just released a review for Ray Zero, the first couple episodes of season 2, and I'm definitely not seeing the same type of level of excitement and fandom showing up for this one. And again, you could argue, which maybe that's the theme of it, that in order to get the hype going, it takes a long time to put together a really great anime, and by the time that, interval happens, that people just lose interest. I mean, we're in a society now where, everybody wants it like that. They want instant gratification. So maybe that also plays a part, but I mean, this has been historically for a while now. This hasn't happened overnight or in the last few years where, season 2s usually get lost in the shuffle or in the wind. And
Yeah.
I think we're to blame to a certain degree, because like, we'll hoot and holler, we want it. When they finally deliver, a lot of the times we'll be like, we'll check it when we check it.
I find this happens too with shows where they'll take breaks, right? Like a show, they'll do like the 12 episode core, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna take a few months off, and then we're gonna come back and do the other 12 episodes, and then by the time they come back to do the next core, people don't give a fuck anymore. It's like, that's it. Because I think with that, it's more of like the momentum has been disrupted. Like you have like a good flow, right? Where like, all right, every week we watch an episode. Every week it's, you have that kind of rhythm of like, you watch the episode, you get hype, you watch the episode, you talk about it. You get hype, you watch the next episode, you talk about it. And then when that gets disrupted, it's harder to get back into it. So even when the show's back, it's like, you're watching something else, and something else is already doing it for you. You're doing that same rhythm with a totally different thing.
And it's a shame too, because like, we're now past the point, which I'd say there's a lot of benefits and positives to it, but we're out of the trend of getting those ongoing weekly anime. Like, aside from a handful that I could think of, for the most part, majority of anime now are just seasonal. Like, here's 12 episodes, and there's plenty of series that do thrive off of it. I'm not gonna deny that, like My Hero Academia. And maybe you could argue, hey, it's because the manga, but there's so many My Hero Academias that are anime only fans, and that thrives very well. They're heading towards season 5 and people are still on board, but that's the exception, not the rule. And again, popular shonen that have like, it's only a year interval in between the seasons. Maybe that's the main problem. Maybe going into everything that we already digested or dissected, shall I say, from this conversation, is the wait time. I think if there's a year in between seasons, is not too bad. You get to 2 years, it starts getting bad. 3 years and up, I feel as though that's where you're like hitting it with the death blow. Like 3 years, people's lives change. In 3 years, you could be a sophomore in high school and almost graduating by the end of that third year. So life changes, a lot of people's lives in general change. So I think the biggest problem is the time of waiting. That instant gratification, yeah, that's something that's big, but also, out of sight, out of mind. And the longer you're out of my sight, the further away from my mind you get.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, the longer they wait, the more like people aren't the same anymore. Like, some of those people may not even like remain anime fans. Like, yeah. If you're waiting like 2-3 years for a show, by the time it comes out, it's like, you've moved on, you're no longer obsessed with anime. Now you're obsessed with your stamp collection or whatever dumb hobby you have.
Yo, whoever got a stamp collection, salute to you. I'm not even gonna downplay or nothing. Like, do you?
You do you, fam.
Oh shit. So I think we probably got to the core element of it, is that you can't make, especially anime fans, where there's like, there's 10, 20 new anime every season. So there's like, hundreds of anime every year that come out. Not to mention there's hundreds of thousands of anime, millions of anime, however many that are already out. Don't take too long. period, because we see series like, again, My Hero Academia, it's thriving. We get a new season every year, and every year the hype train returns. You take 2 years, you take 3 years, you especially take 4 years. Like, I could go down the list: Attack on Titan, One Punch Man. ReZero is hanging in there, but it's definitely not as big with the fandom as it was 4 years ago. I think that's the key, and maybe you could argue too, a little bit is not a little bit, quite a bit of it is to do with the studio's greed, because in between Attack on Titan season 1 and 2, they absolutely took that cow, sodomized that cow, left it without a single drop of leche, no milk. I mean, they did a spin-off Attack on Titan Junior High gag anime, fully blown, beautiful animation and art. The manga had like fucking 7-8 different spin-off series. They had OVA after OVA. They did a lot with it. So definitely the company's being greedy and, this is a hit, let's milk it for all it's worth, and then if we can, we'll try a season 2 and see if we could keep milking it, but if not, fuck it, we got all we can. And that's a terrible mindset. Like, something that's everlasting is more valuable than a quick cash grab.
I agree, but at the same time, they gotta make that money.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck.
You could still, like, wouldn't you rather make a healthy sum over a long period of time opposed to one big lump sum and then it just all goes to hell after that?
Dude, that's not how corporations think. They just see the money and they're like, we gotta take the money right now.
Yeah, and then they just kind of put in their back of their mind, we could keep this shit going. We'll just, whatever, as long as this writer's pumping out another light novel or another manga volume, like, we'll keep it moving, which it don't work like that. Like, we want it, and we want it soon. We want it ASAP. Oh, shit, consumer, I was gonna say greed, but it's all a mess. But at the end of the day, again, I think the most important thing about the sophomore curse is try not to make us wait too long. Any last words on the sophomore curse, the sophomore slump?
I'm still waiting for season 3 of Spice and Wolf. I don't give a fuck. I want it.
The light novel, because it's adapted from a light novel, correct?
Yes.
And it's over with already? They already wrapped it up?
They did.
If plenty of series. I mean, look at Inuyasha came back, so you never know.
Fucking god. Well, we could leave that discussion for later.
Yeah, we're gonna talk some Inuyasha with Shintai. It's a weekly therapeutic session.
I don't know if this is therapy or if I'm like in hell. I'm rolling the fucking rock up the hill and it keeps coming back down. I have to push it back up.
And instead of making like, the noise of like, the gravel and shit like that, all you just keep hearing is Inuyasha Kagome.
And occasionally she'll yell, sit.
Sit, boy, sit. Oh shit. I guess let's roll into our watches of the week, or whatever we've been into, whether, maybe it'd be a week where it'd be a little dry on anime. I'll throw my little hat in the ring first. For starters, I've noticed a lot of anime are returning. That's good. I mean, like I just said, I just watched ReZero's first 2 episodes. I'm not going to harp on that too much because I just made a big video on it. So I watched ReZero. Depression, anxiety, tragedy. That's what we'll roll with to describe that. Black Clover and Boruto have returned, and I guess here's a little something, because I watched those episodes, and honestly, with Boruto in particular, I don't really like to watch a lot of the quote-unquote filler episodes. Incoming Boruto fans saying, none of the Boruto anime is filler, what are you talking about, it all coincides. Okay, you're right, alright, whatever. But anyway, these one-off stories about like side characters or some of the other next gen characters, I don't really particularly care to watch some of those episodes, but we went a while without these anime due to everything going on in the world, everything being on break. So the last couple episodes of Boruto I've been watching, and last week's episode, it was a Mitsuki episode, dope little episode, whatever. This week's episode, we had a center focal point on Choji's daughter, Chocho. And I'll be honest with you, because I used to like say, oh my god, that character, all she ever does is talk about eating and shit like that. This episode, it really just showed that this character could be so much more. Because I don't know if you remember when Choji activated his butterfly form and he like lost all that weight and shit like that because of the form.
I don't remember this.
Well, she activated it and actually like mastered it. It was a lot of the writing was shit, to be honest with you. Like they had Anko, who was like one of Orochimaru's subordinates, getting like dusted off by like some filler random no-name shinobi, whatever with that. But I just see it and I'm like, Chocho has the ability to be one of the most interesting characters. Like her father's moment of activating that butterfly mode is one of the coolest and dopest moments in the original Naruto. Was it in? Yeah, it was original Naruto in the Sasuke retrieval. So seeing her in this one, I'm like, it's really like, because Kishimoto gave them the setup. Here you go, here's like kind of clones of my kids that I wrote all these years, and instead they just dropped the ball because like, yo, she's a cool ass character. She has a little quirky ass, she's chunky. The obesity is a problem in the United States, you know what I'm saying? So plenty of people can relate to the character, and I know there's probably going to be people saying, why are you caping for Chocho? I just see that at the end of the day, she has like, I'm not going to be that hype about Inojin. I'm not. I'm just not. Like, there's not much about her Nojin, but Chocho, like she has the what is the clan name, Akamichi, I think, of Choji. Like she has so much going with her, and if the writers actually just gave a shit, and maybe they will, maybe they'll prove me wrong, because we're incoming into what might blow up the Boruto anime into mainstream popularity now, this upcoming arc. So maybe they'll do something with her and make her actually like the useful and awesome character that she can be, because I saw that episode and I'm like, there's so much that they could do with this character, and so much to make the next gen characters in general seem dope and do something good with them. So yeah, because you know,
yeah, I see what you're saying. You're just like lamenting the lost potential. Like there's something more that can be done here, and it's just a shame that like they shit the bed.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, because the manga really doesn't give a shit about the next gen, as funny as it is. Like, it's called Boruto Naruto Next Generations in the anime, and I think it's called that with the manga, I'm not sure, but the manga really only focuses in on for the new gen, just Boruto, Sarada, who is Sasuke's daughter, and Mitsuki, Orochimaru's kid. Like, it doesn't focus in on really the next gen. You see them once in a while, you see Shikamaru's son and shit like that, but they're not really the main focus. But the anime, they try to focus in on the next gen and give them moments and shit like that. So if you're gonna do that, fucking give them moments. Make us give a shit about that next generation that Kishimoto set up for us. Not like just having her eating chips and complaining every fucking episode, or Inojin. Like, I couldn't even really tell you much about Inojin other than like I think Inojin is a boy. Oh my gosh, like that's how bad it is that I can't even really, like, this is how poorly they've done.
You can't remember the gender.
Yeah, yo, it's bugged out. That's Ino and Sai's child. Like he draws like his father, and I think he has the ability to use his mother's technique, or he started to learn it and shit like that, the mind transferring shit or whatever. But like, so much wasted potential. Here's hoping that this upcoming arc, Kara, that I'm really, really excited for. I'm tuned in on every freaking Sunday for this shit. They actually utilize these next gen characters and put them to good use, because there's potential there. Kishimoto laid out the foundation. Fucking do something with it, Studio Period. Just saying. That was my little Boruto rant for the day, guys. No. I didn't expect to talk about Chocho for that long. I'm not even gonna lie.
Hey man, sometimes you just gotta get that shit off your chest.
Yeah. But aside from that, Black Clover, I watched the latest episode. That was dope. The God of High School, episode 2. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I don't think I'm going to review this weekly. A lot of people are hype off of it, and I will repeat this again. Art, animation, fights. I will say this. Episode 2 got me way more excited than episode 1, because like it's interesting, right? Because this is based off like in a Korean comic, manhwa, webtoon, and it's way more violent than like the shit that you will see coming out of Japan for the most part, like excluding like the berserks and shit like that. But like this dude was just stomping this dude's face in with his foot repeatedly, busting his eye out and shit like that. And I'm like, whoa, okay, all right. And the main character, Jin Mori, reminds me to a certain degree with certain actions. He reminds me of like Goku when he's in the Tenkaichi Budokai tournament. So cool shit there. I just wish they would include more story in there and not just solely bank on making beautifully gorgeous made fights, because like I could tell that it's missing a lot, and people have told me already too, but I could see it, that it's like great fight, amazing fight, oh shit, this fight was awesome. Here's 5 seconds of this character, why they joined the tournament. Here's 5 more seconds of why this character, like that should be a little bit more of a focus. So God of High School, still it's dope as shit. But
I didn't know it was Korean though. That's interesting.
Yeah, Korean manhwa have been really so far with the Tower of God and the God of High School, a lot of God being slung around there. They both Korean manga, Korean manhwa, whatever you want to call them. And Tower of God, I love Tower of God, God of High School. It's really, really dope. Can't wait to see where it goes, because we're only 2 episodes in. And I think that's for the most part what I've watched for this week, minus like some manga and stuff that I've been reading. But Shintai, what have you been doing this week? Have you been throwing quotes, mate? No.
Throwing quotes, my whole, I'm going in my backyard.
Throwing quotes my whole life.
Pounding down some Jaeger.
Oh God.
I don't. Oh, that sounds fucking awful. Drinking Jägermeister and flying kites.
All while yelling handshakers.
Handshakers.
Greatest anime ever.
It's too good for this world. So I unfortunately haven't watched as much anime as I wanted to. I was working hard at work on a video, which I released. I'll talk about that later. But I did get a chance to watch an episode of an anime called Keep Your Hands Off Izokin. Have you ever heard of this?
Oh, man. I don't know what video I just made recently talking about. I don't know if it was a list of manga or something or anime, and I mentioned that, but I have no idea what the hell it's about. But I think it's like successful or some shit.
Yeah, so I believe this was also directed by the director of Devilman Crybaby, Yuasa.
Okay.
The art style in this one though is not like Devilman Crybaby, and it's not like a super weird show either. It doesn't seem like a thing he would typically make, but based on the first episode, I really liked it. This is like it's about these 3 high school girls where it looks like again, this is just the first episode, but like they're all big anime. Actually, no, wait, one of them is not an anime fan. 2 of them are really big anime fans, and it looks like they're trying to make an anime together. And in the episode, I thought this was really cool that like different parts of it actually have like different animation styles because it reflects like their imagination. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, you know what that kind of sounds like?
What?
Inuyasha.
It doesn't sound shit like Inuyasha. Get that out of my face. We're already gonna talk about that later. You gotta bring it up again. God.
Yeah, hey, you did start reminding me of Inuyasha with it, the sequel, because from what I hear, it's supposed to be about 3 girls. So there you go.
You'll find anything to bring it up, just to torture me. Yo.
Oh shit. So it's basically about 3 girls trying to create an anime, or 2 girls and 2 girls 1 cup, or no?
No, there's Man, I don't want to remember that video. Do you remember when that video was big and it was? Oh man.
Oh man, sending that to people saying, "Yo, check this. You can make some
so
money
hot.
off this."
It's so hot.
Yeah, you won't believe it, bro. This shit, like, oh man, and then oh god.
I get. Why are we talking about Two Girls One Cup?
The ForneverWorld podcast, folks.
This is peak podcasting.
Oh,
the hypest podcasting on YouTube. So, yeah, keep your hands off Izokin. I've only seen the first episode. It's only like 12 episodes, so I'll probably finish it pretty quickly.
And it's a josei?
I don't know if it's a josei or a shonen or shoujo. I don't know, but it's good. I like it so far.
I don't know why I'm getting like Gundam Build Fighter vibes from what you described. Maybe it's like the anime creation thing or something like that. I don't know.
No, Build Fighters wasn't about Build Fighters was just
wasn't it about building model kits or some shit?
Yeah, it's about building model kits, but this is more about like building model kits is nothing like making an anime though. But yeah, I so far I recommend it. Again, it's only one episode, but it's really good. Anyways, aside from that, I've been revisiting this band called The Deer Hunter. And this band is fucking awesome. I have here on the camera some of their albums. So this one is called Hymns with the Devil in Confessional, and this one is called Death in Reprise. So this band is fucking awesome. I strongly recommend them. They have a few albums, and I think that they're really cool because I have like this mix of like they have like old timey sounding music, but they have like a modern twist to it.
Dude, I know exactly. I remember them. They're the ones that did the Inuyasha opening, right?
I think, okay, you know what, folks? I think I'm done. I think ForneverWorld needs to get another host. I think I'm done. I'm going to retire. Goodbye. I'm sorry. We had a good run.
I want to change the world. Kanashi sekai.
Kill me! Kill me now!
No doubt. I'll pull up Naruto. Naruto will get really, really strong and take you out.
I'm already dead.
There you go.
Omori wa shinderu.
Are they a relatively new band, or they've been around for a while?
I think they first started in like 2006, something like that.
Oh, okay. So that's 14 years right there,
yeah. Yeah. What's cool is the first album was made by the lead guy almost by himself and the drummer. So like, it wasn't until like the second album when he actually like formed the band. But
wait, so the lead singer is called almost by himself?
What? No, the lead guy. His name is Casey. Yeah. But nice I'm saying like he made the first album almost entirely by himself. Like he did the guitar, he did the bass, he did the keyboard.
Dude, I had no idea Casey Neistat was like making music.
Oh yeah, Casey Neistat. Yep. 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 What a talented motherfucker he is.
Casey Neistat has nice tats. Hey. Oh shit.
This is why we can't have nice things.
But we got nice tat.
Yep.
Oh shit. So definitely folks, check out Casey Neistat's band called Almost by Himself. Really dope group. Shintai showed you the albums, guys.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
shit.
Yep.
Anything else for the week? Shit.
No, I'm done. I'm dead, actually. I've fucking died. Shintai is dead. You're talking to his spirit now.
Alrighty. Next topic. Anime's popularity change over the last decade. Shintai, what was your experience with like anime and manga fandom, like in 2009, 2010, opposed to 2019, 2020?
There was a lot of big chungus.
What? Oh shit.
No, I don't know. Around that time, I don't think I interacted too much with the anime community, if I'm being honest.
Well, just in general, like if you would just see, like, I guess like the surroundings of it. Like, I'm sure you would see like posts by anime fandom, or just the experience in general. Like you was into anime at that time, right?
I've always I've been into anime since like the fucking 90s. Like, I'm an old fuck. So I've been into anime for a long time now. But at the time, I want to say like that's when the big three was like at its peak popularity. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like 2009, 2010, it was Naruto, One Piece, Bleach all fucking day.
Yeah. And that's I feel like for a lot of people that was like the golden age of anime. And I feel like the thing is, everyone has their own golden age of anime, right? Like, I feel like for some people that was like the 80s or the 90s, but like I feel like that era in particular was like really important for like the anime community in general. Even though, again, I said like, I didn't really consider myself part of the community that much. I always kind of like watched anime on my own, and I'll talk about it with my friends. But at the same time, I was like aware of like what was going on. And around that time, I think that's when YouTube started really becoming a thing for people to like have interactions with. Like, social media wasn't as like, Twitter wasn't as big at the time. So I feel like because of that, people used YouTube to talk about anime. So instead of like writing like a tweet about how, Naraku, sucks monkey fuck, they made a YouTube video about it, and the title of the videos would be Naraku sucks monkey fuck.
Oh shit, yo, I remember back then, man, it was so different. For starters, we didn't have this outpour of celebrities talking about it. We didn't have all of these internet personalities that talk about it and create content and like all these amazing, like I'd be amazed sometimes I see some of these like fan-made parodies of like I think they're called RDC World 1. Those guys, oh my god, with the anime house and stuff like that, you didn't have none of that. In fact, I remember you were laughed at, especially like I remember with One Piece in particular. If you talked about One Piece, like especially like even on YouTube or whatever, you were laughed at. People laughed at you, be like, yo, get that rubber dude the fuck up out of here. What you doing with them cartoons and shit? Like it's so crazy.
Don't
now.
give it up,
like,
Luffy.
Don't give it up, Nami.
Don't give it up, give it up, give it up.
And now,
because at the time, that's what people thought of One Piece as. People didn't know that One Piece was actually quality. They just saw the 4Kids dub, and they heard the rap song, and they're like, oh.
And that's also a testament to anime's popularity change, because there's no denying, like, anime, this is probably the most popular it's ever been in the West, even surpassing by far the late 90s, early 2000s boom with Dragon Ball Z, because, like, that boom was Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, select Pokemon, Digimon, shit like that. It wasn't like now where you'll have a One Punch Man, Tokyo Ghoul, Attack on Titan, and all the popular shonens, My Hero Academia. Like it wasn't like that.
No,
shit.
But I think at the time, I felt like more people were more willing to be creators. You would see anime music videos. You would see a bridge series popping up. You would see, and I'm not saying that stuff is gone now, but I felt like around that time you saw a lot more of that stuff. You saw a lot more people, a lot more willing to put themselves out there and to just make content about anime.
I honestly, I 100% will disagree, and I guess that's okay. Interesting. Our different experiences. I felt like back then I could count on my hands. I knew everybody, especially on YouTube. I knew everybody that talked about anime. I could have gone down the list. Okay, this is this person, that person, that person. I knew everybody. Now every day I get introduced to a new content creator. I think maybe back then your experience was that it was so jarring because anime was becoming a thing little by little back then, that when you would see these content creators it would stick out to you more. Now I'm not that I'm numb to it or anything like that, but it's just every day I get put onto at least 3 or 4 new creators. Oh, these people, they write their own manga and they're big fans of Bleach or whatever. Oh, these people, they cosplay, they're big anime cosplayers. Oh, these people, they do anime designer clothes and shit like that. Every day I run into these
you're
people.
Probably right. I think it probably had just more to do with I remember watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged and Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and the more I think about it, the more even though I didn't interact with the community a whole bunch, I was watching a bunch of stuff more at the time, and I think because of that, it's kind of changed how I've seen things. So nowadays I don't watch as much of that stuff. I watch a couple of creators here and there, and I'll just stick to them. While back then I guess because there was less of it, more of it was being it was easier to find, and then I just saw so much of it at the time that it felt like there was a lot of it compared to now, where all that's really happened is I've just narrowed it down more. So you're probably 100% on that.
Yeah. I see famous rappers, they make on the charts, on the Billboard Hot 100 charts, a Lil Uzi Vert song called Sasuke, and he's talking about Sasuke. He even mentions Naruto and all sorts of shit in the song. Was 65, which that's not the highest in the world or anything like that, but that's huge for an anime themed song from a rap artist to place there. And it's just insane. And there's probably people that they feel bitter to a certain degree, because a lot of anime fans, they felt like it was so personal, so close to them. I don't want to share this with nobody. On the other hand, I always championed and endorsed and wanted to see anime become what it's become. I am very, very happy and excited that my 13-year-old niece, she has a whole bunch of friends that talk about anime with her, because I raised her on anime and manga. I was raising that one right. And when she tells me oh, this friend watches Hunter x Hunter and shit, I'm like, yo, times have changed. Back then it was you felt like you ran into an alien when you ran into somebody that knew about anime and manga. Now you got younger generations that are discussing the plot of freaking whatever. It's I don't know. I feel
my nephew likes My Hero Academia, and I didn't try to get him into anime. He just one day was like, hey uncle, I've been watching My Hero and it's so good, and I was kind of taken aback.
So awesome.
I was like, oh shit.
I bet you was proud.
I was. And he was telling me I want to watch more anime. This is cool. It's I was like, that's my boy.
Is that that's the same nephew that you're watching Hunter x Hunter with?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was hanging out for a month here, and now he went back home. So
okay.
So I'll be
So
watching
you put your Hunter
on
Hunter
my
watch
own.
on pause. Oh, okay. I thought you paused it, but okay. So you're still going. Cool.
No, yeah, I'm still gonna go with Hunter x Hunter, because I can't watch it only when he's around, because then I'd never finish it. But yeah, my plan was to finish Izokin first and then hop back on Hunter x Hunter.
I've been busting my brain this whole episode trying to think where the hell did I see it. It must have been like a top selling manga list that I was reading, or maybe it was the upcoming season of anime or some shit. I don't know, like that name, I can't get it out of my mind. Izokin, like I read it in an article or some shit recently. But
you probably did, because like it's since it's made by Yuasa, like that, he's like a big name, like that alone was probably reason enough for you to have heard about it. But also because people have been talking about it, and that's partly the reason why I watch it, because some friends of mine were like, hey, it's good, watch it. And I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And yeah, it's good.
I need to give it a watch. But yeah, anime's changing popularity. It's interesting because I will say, well, no, actually, I'm debating with my own mind right now, because like even some manga, like, well, back then, because I guess there was limited choices, but the ones that were popular were super popular. Like you would have like the big three when they would drop a volume, for example, their first week sales, like One Piece would do 1 million plus, Naruto would do anywhere between 600 to 900,000, and then Bleach would do about like 400 to 600 depending on what, sometimes in the 300s, whatever. Now first week sales, because there's so many, and also digital sales aren't accounted for or whatever, you'll have like a bunch of manga do really well. Like you'll have a My Hero that'll do like a $150 first week, and you'll have a Tokyo Ghoul, and you'll have you'll have a lot of series do fairly decent, and then you have the exception to the rule of like Demon Slayer that it's destroying the competition. I've never seen something like this in my life, of like
Demon Slayer literally came out of nowhere and just like ripped everyone's nuts off.
Dude, like it's broken almost every record One Piece has, aside from overall sales, and you never know what could happen. You never know what could happen, because it's closing in 1 year, bro. Like it had I'm gonna put it to you like this: it had 4 million sales prior to the anime, and now, if I'm not mistaken, it has 80 plus million sales.
That's intense.
Like that shit is insane. And again, but it's not affecting a bunch of other titles, because you're still having series that are doing 100, 200,000 each week, which again, I think that is a testament to just how much anime has expanded and become more socially acceptable. Like it's so cool, because I remember I used to bitch about, man, if video games are sociably acceptable now, why isn't anime? And now you're seeing like some of the quote-unquote cool people talking about anime and manga, having anime and manga discussions. I mean, it'll be about the mainstream shit, but that's a huge step in the right direction, opposed to people looking at you with a shirt of Naruto and being like, hey, look at that fucking loser. Yeah. Which again, fuck those people, but shit has changed.
I actually went to work today wearing a Saber shirt. And whatever. I don't give a fuck. I represent my waifu.
Dude, I have no lie, like probably 90% of my wardrobe over the last couple years that I've picked up is like anime shirts, like My Hero, One Piece, Naruto, Tokyo Ghoul, everything that you could think of. I was looking through my wardrobe actually this morning. I was like cleaning up and shit, and I'm like, I got too many anime shirts.
Most of my shirts are like rock bands, because I go to a lot of concerts, so I have a rule. I always have to buy at least like one shirt from a concert. Like I have a fucking
you get a
bunch.
memory. Yeah. So I think that's for the most part what I have regarding anime's popularity. In a nutshell, I think especially in the West, this is hands down the most popular it's been so far, and I'm excited to see in the next 10 years if it's going to keep on going. Will it stagnate and go into hibernation, and it'll only be the hardcore fans that continue rocking with it? Because I mean, at some point it will peak out. It's not going to be forever. This isn't a homegrown thing. Although, maybe the big change could be different regions stepping in. We see manhwa, Korean mangas coming in. It could be a lot of American creators, people right here in the West and shit, creating content that blows up. I'm curious to see where all this is gonna go, 2030.
Eventually, we're gonna get a big Chungus anime.
There we go, Big Chungus! Chungus. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. Let's jump into the who wants to be an anime fan, mate?
So I don't know if y'all noticed, but I actually got a new hat recently, and this is actually Evangelion themed. So, in the spirit of that, this new question is, in Neon Genesis Evangelion, there's a meme about Shinji not wanting to get in the damn robot. How many episodes did it take for Shinji to actually pilot Eva Unit 1? Was it A, 1 episode? Was it B, 2 episodes? Was it C, 3 episodes? Or was it D, 5 episodes?
I feel like this is a trick question. Oh shit.
Do you need me to read it off for you again?
Just read me the basically how many episodes it took this prick to get in the fucking cockpit.
How many episodes did it take for Shinji to get into the robot? Was it A, 1 episode? Was it B, 2 episodes? Was it C, 3 episodes? Or was it D, 5 episodes?
I don't know. Oh man, I'm leaning between, and maybe I'm off, and I feel like this is going to be the first wrong that either of us have gotten on the show. I'm leaning between A, 1 episode, and D, 5 episodes. But if it's a meme about him not wanting to get into it, it might, and actually, because I've seen chunks of the show. We're talking about the not the movies, the anime.
I'm not talking about the movies. I'm talking about the OG, the 1995 classic.
And from what I remember in the first episode, I don't think this motherfucker pilots shit in the first episode. And then the second episode, I don't even think it was in the second. I'm gonna go, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna man up. I'm rolling with D5. Final answer.
Fine. Are you sure about that? That's your final answer?
That is the finalmente. No, final answer, yeah.
You're wrong. I'm
what's
sorry,
the answer?
dude.
What's the answer?
It was A. It was in the first episode.
What? I do not remember him piloting shit in the first episode.
It was in the first episode, yeah.
Oh my god. I feel like an idiot now.
Yeah, at the end of the episode, when he sees Rei, she's like on one of those like hospital gurneys, and she's bleeding because like she couldn't handle like writing it because it wasn't meant for her.
She was bleeding because she couldn't. She was bleeding because she couldn't handle writing it because it wasn't meant for her.
Wow! When you say it back to me, I should have phrased that better.
Poor Rei.
Poor Rei. But anyways, him seeing that is when he nuts up and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna do it. I'll ride the chopper. Get to the chopper."
Well, I guess I fumbled that one. Jeez.
Yeah. You really screwed the pooch on that one, bucko.
I was close. A was one of my choices, okay? I
almost
went with it.
It was, but then you went 5 episodes.
I don't know. Was I thinking of the movie or something? I don't know.
And I was thinking too, I was like, I can't just put like 4 episodes. That would be too obvious. I'm going to put 5.
Yeah, that's what kind of made me do, like, okay, it went to 5, so maybe that's because it's specifically 5. And I don't know why. Like I feel like in my memory I remember them dicking around for the first 3 or 4 episodes. I don't remember.
No, dude, that first episode is like it's pretty balls to the wall. Like that episode is, they don't fuck around.
I need to go back to, maybe that's why the budget ran out and they fucked up the let me not hate on Ava because I got it wrong.
Well, actually, you're kind of not wrong. That is kind of partly why they ran out of the budget, because like every episode has shit going on. There's like almost no episodes with like downtime. Most of the episodes have shit happening.
Shout outs to Ava. Have they put out that final movie yet?
No, we're still waiting.
That's pathetic. I'm not even gonna lie, because they put out the first one back in what, 2011, 2012, 2013, somewhere around there.
I don't need the first one. No, that shit was like 2008 or some shit.
The very first one.
You're talking about the rebuilds?
Yeah, there was supposed to be 4 films, right?
Yes.
So maybe I'm off. Maybe I'm thinking of the second one that came out in like 2012, 2013.
Okay, so the third one came out in 2012.
The third
one.
So then what the fuck is the holdup?
8 fucking years.
Who gives a fuck at this point?
I don't know, man. I don't know why. You know what? I don't even like the rebuild movies anyways. The original series is where it's at. The rebuild movies aren't even that good. I don't give a fuck.
Because they switched the plot very, very much so, right? Like there's a lot of changes.
The first movie is like basically the same thing, and then the second movie they started changing things up, and then the third movie they completely changed the whole fucking thing.
Talk about a director's cut.
The thing is, I think he's doing it on purpose, because like Hideaki Anno, like he's a troll. He loves to fuck with people, so I think he's doing it just to fuck with people. He's such an asshole.
And speaking of that, let's get to the Inuyasha topic. No, it's not an Inuyasha topic, folks.
I was about to get out of this fucking chair.
No, we might mention it, but basically this topic is when a lot of these series, the authors, whether it be for the sequel, whether it be after a while, whatever the case may be, whether it be the studio wants to carry on, letting another creator and entrusting another creator to move forward with your work. We're talking about like Naruto to Boruto, Masashi Kishimoto handing the story over to Ikamoto and Kodachi. Inuyasha, Rumiko Takahashi handing over the story to Sunrise for the Yashahime sequel. Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Super, Toriyama allowing, which they say Toriyama's involved. I hear quite the contrary, that he barely scratches his nuts and touches the paper and says, "Where's my paycheck?" But Toyotaro taking over, and the impact that it has on the story, should it even happen, the integrity, all of that goes into this exchange. I want to start this one off because there's quite a few instances that I've had throughout the last few years of dealing with these situations. I mean, there's a plethora of them. Don't get me wrong. I'm named, of course, mainstream, but there's the Psycho-Pass to Psycho-Pass 2 with Genero
Can I just say real quick? I just imagine Toriyama farting in someone's face and then going itadakimasu, and then giving him a writing credit.
Yeah. Original story writer and draft writer by Toriyama. Oh shit.
Itadakimasu.
And here's the interesting thing, right? With Naruto, and I'm talking about the manga specifically because he entrusted his manga to another manga artist, and then the studio is adapting the manga into an anime. He didn't trust his story strictly to an anime studio. I will say that the Boruto manga, after chapter, basically you had about a year of them redoing a movie, adapting a movie into the manga. So that was a bad thing. Not really the mangaka's fault. I think that was instructions that, like, for the studio and shit like that. So not really his fault. But we're 48th chapter is about to drop in a few days. And I will say that since late 2017, Boruto has been phenomenal. the art has improved, because it started off looking a little dodgy. The art gotten better. The story's been phenomenal. It really feels like the true sequel to Naruto that it should be. Anime, again, different story. Anime is like 90%, 95% legitimately anime original shit. So whatever for the anime. But in terms of the manga, I gotta say that was a good job, a good idea. It was fine, and I think a lot of that I have to attribute to the fact that one of the people that are working on the Boruto manga worked as an assistant for Masashi Kishimoto on Naruto from chapter 7 all the way to chapter 700. So that's probably, yeah.
Shit.
So that's probably why that worked out. But then you have cases like, we could even take it back before Super, when Toriyama entrusted the studio to write GT.
Oh shit.
That right there, and maybe there's a correlation now that I think about it, of entrusting anime studios with a mangaka's work and how badly that mostly always has been turning out. And you know, I used to say with Hunter x Hunter, like, yo, why don't they just have Tagashi write a drafts and hand it in and shit like that? But we've seen historically, look at the Boruto anime. Again, there's moments, but for the most part, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Look at Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball GT. What the fuck are you doing? Look at there's definitely a link to like an anime studio, because you got to think, and this is something that you a phrase that you use a lot, is there's too many chefs in the kitchen at an anime studio. They have like a team of writers opposed to one or two mangaka working together to create a story.
Too many cooks spoil the broth.
Yeah, and you know, we want that broth nice, fresh, where Gordon Ramsay's gonna. But
I mean, cause think about it, right? Like, people love all the stuff that Toriyama has done. Who the fuck is ripping their tits off for GT? Who?
Oh shit! I mean,
who's literally going like, oh, GT is my favorite. Oh, no one. No one.
I will defend one thing about GT. One thing.
You know, I'm not even hating on GT that hard. Like, I don't think GT is like the worst thing ever. But like,
it's bad. It's bad.
But like, compared to Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, it's like you go from greatness to like fucking bull squirt, man. You get like,
yo, that is, yeah. You know, and I was just gonna say that the Dragon Ball GT ending feels so much more satisfying and definitive and great than any ending that Toriyama's created. So I'll give them credit in that regard. But aside from that, yeah, it's just like every time, and this is what's probably going to make or break the Inuyasha sequel, because, you know, say what you will about Inuyasha, we will say a lot about Inuyasha, but I
don't think we'll ever stop saying things about Inuyasha because of your fucking ass.
You can't deny.
Wait, we're gonna be episode like 785, and you're gonna be like, Sesshomaru's nutsack.
Hey, Shintai, what do you think about Naraku? Oh shit! But okay, the stuff that, you know, you did like about Inuyasha, you have to obviously credit Rumiko Takahashi.
Yes.
Taking her out of the equation for the good shit, and historically what we've seen that has been done to, you know, manga titles that with their anime basically completely taking over the future of the story. What the hell are they gonna do with this Yashahime anime?
I don't know. Like,
I know you're excited.
Oh man, I got my cock in hand. I'm ready to go.
I wouldn't say that because it's gonna be about 3 young girls, so we'll edit that one out.
Oh, okay, my bad. I didn't know that. You know,
we're gonna edit that bad boy out.
I retract my statement.
I mean, they'll have, like, I'm willing to bet that they'll have some moments of shock value that is probably going to get people excited. Like, oh my god, Inuyasha might be dead, and Kagome, they might be dead. Oh my god, a fear of Naraku returning. And they're going to play off of that, but still, there's something about one creator, especially that has shown a track record of making this particular title a success, enjoyable, and all that shit, and you yank that out. It's like yanking the soul out of a story because there's so much time and mindfulness that goes into, like, a lot of these creators, they eat, sleep, and breathe manga. Eiichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece, he said that anybody that joins his team of working on One Piece, he tells them, you got to be willing to die for One Piece. Like, this is how serious it is. So how the fuck do you take out that much of a committed person from the recipe and just hand it over to a bunch of chuckle fucks that are like, more money for us, okay?
Let me just rub my nuts all over the page.
But and that's not to say too that passing it to another mangaka can't fuck it up, because early on, like, again, I keep going back to this example, but early on, Boruto was scary. It was like, first 10 chapters, it's like, oh my god, we're just redoing the Boruto movie. What the fuck is going on? Oh my god, the art is fucking terrible. What is going on? Thankfully that improved, but yeah, that could happen too. But it seems to be the case that it's more damaging for the adaptation to take over. And I think a lot of that, again, has to do with all these people, the timing, the budgets, them not really giving too much of a shit seemingly about the story, opposed to a mangaka that their story is like everything to them.
It's their baby, right? Like, and just for me personally,
real quick, right there, what you just said, perfect, because there's a saying, nobody's gonna care for your child like you are.
That's a good saying.
There you go.
Because, yeah, like, the way that I would think about it, like, that shit is mine, right? Like, I can't imagine, like, pouring my heart, my fucking soul, and my everything into this, and then, being okay with handing it off to someone else. Like, and that's not, like you said, sometimes, great things can happen when works are handed off to other people. Like, sometimes you do get something great. Like, I can't think of anything on the top of my head right now, but
well, there's something there, if you just, imagine it. Oh my god, I just thought of Tokyo Ghoul second season. That's another example.
Isn't that a bad example?
No, yeah. That's why I'm going back to the bad example, since we can't think of any good ones.
Yeah.
It's like, and this was forcefully. They basically said, give us your manga, you little fuck. We're doing what we want. And they shredded all of his ideas and made just a god-awful fucking season. Again, like, I can't pinpoint exactly, I think, because there's multiple reasons why. I guess the biggest problem is really handing it over to an anime studio, because they just don't give a fuck about it the way you would give a fuck about your baby.
No, yeah. I mean, it's just been proven time and time again that, like, 9 times out of 10 at least, it's better when it stays with the original creator, because no one knows or understands it better than they do. And, when you pass it off to someone else, chances are low that they're going to recreate the magic or do something different with it in a way that's equally good. Like, that just doesn't happen. It's very rare.
Anybody that's watching right now, please, if you have any examples of times where that's actually been successful and it's either been as good or better, of them handing over their manga and continuing the story from the anime studio, please let us know, because right now we really can't think of any. Like, every example I could think of is just bad. Tokyo Ghoul, Dragon Ball GT, the Boruto anime, again, that's them doing their anime original bullshit or whatever. There's no really examples I could think of them knocking it out the park.
No, yeah, I'm drawing a fucking blank.
Okay, yeah, I think that's all that we have for this episode. You got anything else to touch up on entrusting another creator or an anime studio to carry on the works, and just in general that whole scenario?
No, I got nothing else to add. Just, yeah, again, if please, in the comments, like, if you know of something where that was the case, like, please tell us, because we're not trying to be dicks. Like, we genuinely just can't think of any right now, because that just illustrates how rare it is. So yeah, just please tell us.
And then somebody's gonna point out like an obvious example that I'm missing, and I'm gonna feel like such a dick. I know that's coming.
That always happens. You're gonna look at the comment, you're gonna be like, fuck, I should have.
Why didn't I think of that? Oh my god, Big Chungus!
Big Chungus!
Oh shit.
Handshakers!
Handshakers! Well, people, I think that's all we have for this episode. Let us know what you think about any of the topics we discussed for this week's episode. What do you think about the sophomore slump, the season 2 curse of anime? Do you think that that's actually a thing, or it's really just the studios fucking it up? Or are we to blame in a way for like not really wanting what we say we want? Also, what do you think about the popularity change in anime? In 2010, what was your experience with anime fandom in comparison to 2019, 2020? I gotta throw in 2019 because obviously conventions were still a thing then. Now this year we haven't had any conventions, so it's hard to really compare in that aspect. But even online, also letting a creator or letting another creator take over the work, or another studio. Thoughts on that? Is there again any examples at all of them entrusting? Oh, bam, thank goodness I caught it. There is one, a legendary one. You're not ready for this. The final arc of Yu Yu Hakusho.
What?
The final arc of Yu Yu Hakusho, especially the finale of it all, because the way the final fight with Yusuke and one of the demons ends is like they added so much. I don't even know if they really fought in the manga or not, but like there was just so much anime original stuff in the ending of Yu Yu Hakusho that the manga ends with like Togashi just drew like a bunch of drawings of characters and said, here you go, final chapter, because he was like sick and fed up and mentally fucked up from drawing. So that's the example I got, the good example where it can happen, as rare as it is.
Wow, I didn't know that. I did not know that. Shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a like a 24-year-old example, because like Hakusho ended in like 96, I think. But there we go. We got one. It can happen. It's rare, but it can happen. Wow. But yeah. I guess that's all we have for this episode of the ForneverWorld podcast. Thanks for watching, people. And yeah, handshakers. Have an awesome one, people. Peace.